Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. Today I have a subscription box from the people over at Serene. They have a huge line of products available on their website, but they also do these subscription boxes that they send out monthly, so I'm excited to crack this open and show you what's inside. They have a bunch of different subscription boxes, but this is the one that looked the coolest to me. Let's do the unveiling. Ooh. First thing you'll see is this little attention sticker that says none of this is illegal. It's all from products that are testing under 0.03 Delta-9 THC. Shout out to the 2018 Farm Bill. And we got a sticker, and we got a couple different disposables here. As you see here, we have 4 different disposables. One is Delta-8, one is Delta-9, one is Delta-10, and then one is THC-O. And these are all hemp-derived, totally legal, even the Delta-9, surprisingly. Well, let's go through these one at a time and talk about the differences between Delta-8, Delta-9, Delta-10, and THC-O. Let's start with this Delta-8. They got some pretty cool packaging here. I got ice cream cake for every single strain just because I wanted to know if there were any differences in like flavor or anything between the different cannabinoids, not just the terpenes. Crack this bad boy open, and there we go, you guys, the Serene tree battery. Actually looks pretty cool. These only a gram, they look huge. Oh shit, these are 3-gram disposables. I did not know that. I'm looking at this tank and I'm like, holy crap, that's gigantic. Oh my god, these are gonna last forever. I like the size of the pen, and the like outside of it looks like it's really nice quality as well. But let's see how this Delta-8 pen hits. Oh, wow, that's smooth. I was not expecting that big of a cloud. Has a pretty decent flavor to it as well. And honestly, after that one hit, I kind of feel a little something. Delta-8 is probably the most popular cannabinoid besides for classic Delta-9 THC that you find in regular weed. It was kind of like the Trojan horse for all these other cannabinoids you're seeing now. And in case you're unfamiliar with Delta-8, it is a psychoactive substance similar to Delta-9, but is known to have less intense effects. I consider it like a kid's roller coaster versus an adult roller coaster at an amusement park. You're still on a ride, you're still feeling good, but it is just way less overwhelming and intense, especially for those people who are not used to those intense effects. So Delta-8 is for people who want like a way more mild high. It's really good for beginners that haven't experienced too much cannabis in their life. However, even for someone like me, the relaxing effects you get from Delta-8 are really effective, especially if you mix it with Delta-9. Like sometimes if it's late at night and I'm not tired but I'm stoned, I'll puff on some Delta-8 pen, and before I know it, I'm asleep. I'm not even tired, I'm just out. So I consider the effects from Delta-8 kind of similar to like what people consider the stereotypical indica high. It's not as intense and like as couch locky as an indica, but the point of like going to sleep and relaxing is really useful with Delta-8. It is super smooth. I cannot believe the huge clouds that this thing is producing. The flavor is pretty good too. It's nothing crazy, but it is like a solid, decent Delta-8 pen. I would not mind puffing on this all day. But now let's open this Delta-10 disposable and see how it compares to the Delta-8. Another 300 milligram disposable. I think these are the biggest ones I've ever seen. I've definitely seen a handful of 2-grammers, but I don't think I've ever seen a 3-grammer. They look super similar. There's no way to differentiate which one is which. So I'm going to put the Delta-8 one away so I do not get these confused. Ooh. Does taste a little different, not in a bad way. The other one had like a slightly more weedy taste to it, and this one doesn't quite have that. I can taste the terps a little bit more. Delta-10 is like Delta-8 in the sense that it's a cannabinoid that has psychoactive effects that is commonly processed through CBD, but it's a little less intense than Delta-8. It still has weed effects to it, like you definitely still feel stoned, but I consider this more like the stereotypical sativa high, where the Delta-8 is more of like a stereotypical indica high for people that are trying to get into cannabis. I always recommend Delta-10 for people that don't want to get too high and like that stereotypical sativa feeling. Like the Delta-10 would definitely be up your alley. But I gotta say, this sub box is super cool, and it's available on their website, serenetree.com. You can use code Potporn for 20% off your entire order. And like I said, they do not just have this subscription box, they have a bunch of different ones available. Also, if you're not looking for a subscription box, they have all their products available on their website. So if you know what you're looking for, you can use code Potporn for 20% off your entire order. All right, now we're going to move on to the Delta-9 THC disposable, but made from hemp. Now, out of all the cannabinoids in the world, I am most well versed with Delta-9 THC, the cannabis version though. So I'm super curious how this Delta-9 disposable is going to hit. I've had hemp Delta-9 edibles before, but I've never had a hemp Delta-9 vape. Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm really impressed. I don't know how effective it is, but I will find out in a couple seconds. However, this one definitely has the best flavor. It might be a little bit harsher than the other ones. The flavor is on point, and I'm starting to feel the effects right now, like the stereotypical effects I would get from a Delta 9 THC cartridge, which is not too crazy. I'm the type of stoner that like cartridges just only get you so high. I've smoked an entire cartridge on this channel before, and I was stoned, but I've definitely been more high than when I smoked an entire cartridge in one sitting. But I gotta say, this is pretty crazy. When people talk about THC in general, they're typically referring to Delta 9 THC. Delta 9 THC is the main cannabinoid responsible for the high you get when you smoke traditional cannabis, either from the dispensary or the traditional market. However, it can still even come from hemp, like this pen right here. The product they use just has to test under 0.3% THC. So once they extract that into an oil, it'll end up still being somewhat potent. It's probably not as potent as if they extract something that has, 20% THC, but it does the job for sure. And it's a crazy loophole. Like, that's the coolest part to me, is that it's like just the 2018 Farm Bill just created the craziest loophole for this industry. Oh yeah, that's nice. That's really nice. That pen was definitely the most noticeable effect-wise out of the three of those. The Delta 8 I felt a little something. The Delta 10 definitely made me feel a little bit more energetic, but that pen actually made me feel kind of stoned. Despite these differences, Delta 8, Delta 9, and Delta 10 all have a psychoactive effect on the body and affect our endocannabinoid system. Personally, being a stoner to the level that I am, Delta 9 THC is still my favorite one, but I do see a real purpose for Delta 8 and Delta 10. I feel like people that do not want a full intense high, it's perfect for them. And also if they want specifically to be sleepy or to be, energetic, it's great to be able to differentiate between the two. Because honestly, like, people always say that indica and sativa are like the best way to tell what kind of high you're gonna get, but that's just not true. I can talk about that for hours, but you can do your own research. But indica and sativa is just saying like the leaf structure of the plant that's being grown. It's not actually saying it's going to make you tired or it's going to make you energetic. It's a fair rule of thumb when it comes to cannabis, but it's not an end-all be-all. So it's nice for people that have minimal knowledge or minimal experience with cannabis to be able to be like, okay, well, if I want something that's gonna make me sleepy, Delta 8 will do the job. If I want something that will make me energetic, Delta 10 will do the job. But overall, the main differences between these are their potency. Delta 9 is the most potent, Delta 8 is the second most out of these three, and Delta 10, in my opinion, is just the least potent. That's why you're able to not get tired and still have a little energy boost. People consider that like a lack of potency when it comes to cannabis, but it still does have a nice effect. But lastly, let me open up this disposable, which is THC-O. Not THC-0, that is a THC-O. I've seen people sometimes call it THC-0 before, it just kind of makes me chuckle. Now, what's interesting about THC-O is it is known to be 3 times stronger than classic Delta 9 THC. This is when like science gets a little interesting with this hemp stuff. And I don't know if it's actually 3 times stronger than Delta 9, but it's definitely on the more potent side of the legal hemp cannabinoids. Woo. Tastes super similar to the Delta 10, honestly. It's probably the harshest out of the 4 of these, but it's definitely giving me like a little head rush in the face. I'm pretty stoned off of this hit. Granted, I had like a layer of the other 3 under it, but effect-wise, I'm definitely getting the most stoned off of this. Holy crap. If Delta 8 is for the beginner stoners, this is definitely more for the intermediate and above. If you're a stoner to my level, you might not like Delta 8 as much as you like traditional THC, but when it comes to like THC-O and stuff, it is a crazy chemical, and it's cool that it's pretty much legal everywhere. I've seen some people say that it's kind of like a low dose of psychedelics. Personally, I don't think that's true. I've taken a lot of doses of psychedelics in my life, and I think that they're still more intense than this. But this is a pretty intense high for sure, especially for something that's coming out of a pen. For like the real hardcore stoners out there, if you're looking for something legal to have for whatever reason, HHC and THC-O are both really good options for you. But at the end of the day, all of these cannabinoids serve a different purpose. You may find one that is more suitable for you depending on your lifestyle. But at the end of the day, personally, I do not discriminate against any cannabinoids. I welcome any and all cannabinoids into my system. As long as they're good products, I do not care. and I can definitely say these Serene Tree 3-gram disposables are fucking dope. I don't know if I'm even gonna be able to go through all of these in a month. Like, this is a lot of oil. But regardless of what legal cannabinoid you prefer, definitely check out serenetree.com. They have a huge selection of products, not just these subscription boxes as well. If there's a specific product you're looking for, they probably have it. So definitely check out serenetree.com and use code Potporn for 20% off your entire order. But that's where we're gonna wrap up this video, you guys. Make sure you click like if you enjoyed it and leave a comment. Let me know what your favorite cannabinoid is. I'd love to know whether it's Delta 9, HHC, Delta 8, THC-O. I wanna know what your favorite is. And don't forget to check out potporn.com, everybody. That's my own online head shop. Basically has everything you'd find at your local head shop, but it can get delivered right to your front door. But that's the end of the video, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Jeff. Peace.